All right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back. This is season 1, episode 5, Game of Coins. It is April 26th, 2019, and it is a Friday, baby. It is beautiful. We are alive, and we are glad that you are here joining us. The Real quick, we're going to take a look at this Bitcoin news. So this is from fortune.com. So who knows how accurate this is, but I'm going to kind of show you where the technicals and the fundamentals align and how they kind of play off each other in the market and in every day-to-day scenario. So let's just take this article, for example. Bitcoin tumbles after officials allege $850 million in fraud. $850 million in fraud. Well, that would be a huge amount of the crypto market, right? So enough to make a difference, in my opinion. So we have this pretty little article that gets posted. So let's go ahead and kind of read through this really quick. The cryptocurrency market buckled on Thursday evening after New York's Attorney General accused the owners of a prominent exchange, Bitfinex, which, if you've been following crypto, you know is a pretty well-respected exchange, in my opinion, or one that is often used, of using illicit transactions to mask $850 million in missing funds, which is where this Tether situation came from. So basically, we saw a 6% drop in Bitcoin, which would account for at least 27% in Tethers. Yeah, dude. Okay. So besides all of that, great. So basically what this article is saying is that the market is being manipulated. So let's go to the chart. What does the chart say? I hope you guys can hear me too. This new mic, it's a little different. So if somebody can give me a sound check on that, that would be awesome. Anyways, let's get this loaded up really quick. Maybe. I'm still having internet issues. I'm still waiting for the guy to come out. Come on. We are having technical difficulties. What are you doing to me, baby? All right, well, hang tight, guys. We're going to figure this out. Okay, here we go. Wow. Sorry about that. Let's see if this thing will load up now. Goodness gracious, man. Yeah, I know it's unresponsive. Thank you. Man, I cannot wait for this guy. He comes out the 2nd is when he's supposed to come out and take a look at it. Apparently, because I live in a big neighborhood, that so many of the boxes got affected in this area. So my computer, see, here we go. Long story short, anyways, basically my stuff doesn't work like it's supposed to. Perks of living in a neighborhood. Wow, I cannot wait for this computer to come in either. It's all good though. We'll be all right. Let's get this thing checked out. Don't need all that. Okay, I think we're actually running now. Wow. Okay, cool. Let's try this. So, sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. So right now, we made our common retrace um, back from the huge sell-off that we saw way back in the middle of November, and we hit the 618. Then we bounced, and now we put up a flag. I would call a bull flag or a pennant. Excuse me. And now we are forming this upward sloping channel, and we're just kind of range bound in my mind in this particular moment. And then now we're kind of seeing, same thing on our oscillators. Now, what's really funny is we got that tether news, right? So this is the Bitcoin. I guess I could do it on Bitfinex, but everybody had a fall from it, right? So what happened? Why did we see a sell-off? Well, let's go to the daily really quick. We hit the 618, and let me zoom in. Here we go now. Okay, cool. So we hit the 618, wicked off, and then we broke out of this triangle or this bull flag or pennant or whatever you would like to call it. And now we're sticking within this channel. So if you wanted to, you could even make these lines a different color. You could say, we'll make these red lines. Okay, so now you're kind of bouncing in between this range right here. So right now you're kind of in like the lower side, but 21-day moving average sitting at the lower side, looking for a potential bounce there to continue to see upward momentum potential, right? But why did we see a sell-off? Why did we see a big sell-off? Well, one, when we, whoa. Actually, let me just do this. There we go. We kind of talked about this in the Discord, is that we did break out of this. So if you go down to a smaller time frame, you'll see that we did break out of this channel, but we did back test it, which is what we're doing now. And if you go down to a smaller time frame, you will see it's a little bit clearer of a picture. See, every time frame paints a different story, and we got to take all those clues and all those pieces and put them together to come up with our decisions. But how we saw this from a technical standpoint was that we broke out of this bull pennant, this bull flag, and now we're testing the top side of this channel. We got rejected, and now we're testing back. This is called back testing. So you back test where you broke out, right? But what happens is you get the news that comes out, says $830 million in tether FUD comes out, and that's why you trended down. And it's like, well, it also aligned on the charts as well, why there was some retracement, right? We also had RSI divergence, definitely on the 4-hour time scale, right here, and from here to here. And if you were to zoom that out, that would make more sense. You could also see it on lower time frames. But that's kind of how the news kind of relates to the technicals. And it doesn't always work like that, but in this situation, it did. And, maybe that's a bunch of FUD or some stuff to kind of freak people out, but we are, 70 to 80% of the way through that pattern. Now, if we don't hold here, if we don't break above that and get rejected, then maybe we see a reversal in our price action. But as long as we can hold this and hold this red line, as far as from a technical standpoint, there's no real issue in my opinion. But you also have to, be a little careful just in the fact that you had a huge run up. So when you have a huge run up like that, as long as you get caught by support, as long as you're within this red line, you're fine. But it's just as quick as you went up, you can come down. And typically people will tell you that, at least if you're trading in these markets, that it goes down a heck of a lot quicker than it goes up. So just something to keep an eye on, just something that we're kind of monitoring and looking at a couple different time frames. And kind of shows you one way that you can see how fundamental news can get mixed with technical analysis. But let's see if any other oscillators gave us any clues as to what was going on. So in my opinion, when you're looking at the MACD here, I would have called this maybe a shoulder, and then a head, which is a head and shoulders that broke, up and then down. But if you look at it, technically, I mean, wherever you would like to mark that, that is bearish divergence. Okay, so let's actually redo that on a higher time frame. Okay, well that makes sense too. I mean, yes, you did break up higher from there. However, if you look, you saw that you broke up, had one more leg left in you, which is almost like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If you looked at that like an Elliott wave, you can. That's one way to look at it. It's really a tough count, so I wouldn't. If you're not very experienced, I wouldn't recommend that. But you could definitely count a 5-wave Elliott wave out of there. And then now you're seeing that you're breaking down. And you're not, and then you tried to retest right here. So let's draw this for you. So you ran up, obviously that was a bullish cross, but when the blue line crossed below the red line again, and then it fought for a retest right here and got rejected, then you knew you were going to see more movement to the downside. At least on the MACD, right? And then you combine that with other oscillators, so you would have saw the two yellow boxes coinciding with not only from here to here, but also from here to here. So you would have had those two little confirmations, whether you caught the first one or not, just dealing with RSI from here to here, you would have caught the other one. I would think, But that was two different signals for you mixed with MACD. And then you looked at your candlesticks and you would have said, okay, we had topside resistance from the top of the red line and we got rejected. We still may see the 786. Doesn't mean we can't. It just means for now we needed to cool down. And so how do you cool down? Well, you cool down by saying, oh, well, Tether printed $850 million and hides up a scandal. Same thing with when Justin Sun gives away, tickets to a conference when he's supposed to be giving away Teslas the first time. Your stock's probably going to drop. That's not a good look for you. You know what I mean? It's not a good look for the company. So it's just funny how these things work and just keeping an eye on them. And everything's all speculative, obviously. And everything is obviously all in my opinion. But it's just interesting to look at these different assets and, not to look at them because none of them have actually tangibly done anything. None of them I can go buy at the store. Like if I went to go buy Nike shoes, at least I can go buy their product, right? I can't go buy a Tron or I can't go buy, a Waves or any of this stuff other than an asset that's basically like a virtual digital token that's gambling, right? So that's just a couple things I saw. But anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Let me get this chat worked out really quick. Pop out. But it's good, man. It's Friday. We having a good time. I'm about to go check the garden, see how she's doing. Do you guys have any questions or anything for those of you who are tuned in? And let me know if that mic sounds better as well. I got that new mic. So hopefully it cleaned up a few things. I also ordered this back brace that just came in from Amazon. It's it's like this back brace that's supposed to help your posture. And I wore that thing for probably an an hour and a half yesterday. I'm definitely feeling a little sore today. So take care of your backs, people. It's one thing. I know we don't talk about health a lot or anything, but take care of your back. It'll take care of you. Pro tip. Okay, let's see what ETH is doing real quick. One, two, and the rule of three we took off. Okay. I don't know where I drew this fib from forever ago. Ah, that makes way more sense. Okay, I see what I was doing. Cool, man. Long term. We're all long term on this one, right? Because you can kind of look at this, and I mean, obviously, yes, you could say there's upside potential with the higher lows. However, you could still snap down, diving board one more time, nosedive, and you could be in price discovery, and you'd be looking around here, right? Because we're in this channel that is upward sloping that typically breaks down. Not always, and obviously we are getting the higher lows, which is cool to see, but we could see maybe, what if we get a 3A2 retrace and then sell off, and then we double bottom? We could come down. I mean, just from candlesticks, I mean, RSI kind of tells the story as well, as far as definitely saw a double top here, and then we smash. Absolutely broke down. So I posted that in the Discord for my my trading room, saying I think it was about like 180 or something at the time. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm definitely not giving up on Ethereum. It's just one of those that, as of right now, how the chart looks, it looks to be like it could be due for a little bit of a retracement. And I could be wrong, and this thing could go to the top side of the target tomorrow, and it could be at $200, and you could be calling me an idiot. And I get that, and that's cool too. I'm just saying, as of right now, that's how it looks. And if you know, let's do this too. This is where I would be looking for a potential. Don't talk to me until we start fixing this, right? Because that was definitely a trend line that didn't hold. And now you're just kind of in discovery mode, right? It's kind of like you need something in here to catch. Otherwise, I'd say, you're probably coming down. You're hoping to catch the red lines, though. Excuse me. Oh, that coffee is getting me today. Man. I don't know how much coffee you guys drink, but I feel like I drink way too much. Let me know how much coffee you drink, because I would say over under, like, what's a bad number? What's a bad amount of coffee to drink? What's the recommended amount? Because I feel like I'm definitely surpassing that. ETH USD, yeah. CDE. Yeah. Not in love, though. Not in love. At least short term. So let's go to Litecoin. There we go. Boom. Oh, well. Let's do it this way. Okay. Well, things definitely happened. Things are happening. And this is one that me and Andiamo discussed as well. We kind of talked about this, but Yeah, not awesome at the moment. It looks to be like it's due for a retracement, and if one was to throw an Elliott wave on this, that's what I would say it was, along with Charles Dow and Dow theory and the 50% retrace. And okay, granted, we didn't technically touch it, but also my line could be completely off too, right? But it's very, very close to that 50% retrace. And in my opinion, we probably did hit it. I just probably drew it a little bit off from the high or whatever. But you could easily count that as a 5-wave count on a daily time scale. So we would be kind of looking to kind of pull back for now, at least as somebody from my perspective as a day trader, right? But let's just really quick, because this is one thing we spoke on too, and I want to make sure that you guys know this. We also looked at it from a weekly time scale, and I'm actually just going to remove all that. Okay, so if we take a look at it like this, it appears we might have found some love. Maybe you found some divergence, right? Maybe that's bullish, right? Along with, we'll see. These oscillators are a little tough, but you're definitely gaining. And it appears that, you're kind of in that same boat as Ethereum. You could have one more leg down, or if this is because you're kind of more of an uptrend, maybe that was like leg one, and now when you fib, let's just do it together really quick. And I'm going to take the most conservative one. I'm definitely going to say that this is the fib that we would go off of. And that's how I got my 50%. So from swing high to swing low, 50%, we made it. And maybe you see a 618 target, and maybe that happens. Maybe I'll see you in August or whatever. Another interesting thing, you could, if you wanted to Elliott wave this, and you were to say confidently that that was the 5 waves down, then you could make your argument and say this is 1, 2, 3, 4 would be somewhere probably around the $62 range. And then who knows, maybe you double top at 5. Maybe you go up to a 50. You could hit the 618, which would give you a clear 5-wave count. And you'd be good to go. But this is also on a weekly time scale. And you also got to remember it's going to take time for all that to play out. So, and with every candlestick, it could change our opinion, right? If you get a huge bearish engulfing candle here, or you get a huge bull candle that engulfs, it's like it might change my analysis. But as of currently, how I'm seeing it, it looks to me, and I think Adiamlo agrees, that we're in for a bit of a slight retracement, maybe down to that 236 range, which is $62, $65, and that could be a place where maybe you're looking to enter, or maybe add to your bag, depending on when you bought it. So just something to look at. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, because on a daily, we're still showing, we haven't caught anything yet, right? So formal support, you're within that Ethereum range, right? You could go here, you could go here. So we're definitely chasing, or catching falling knives, if you will, at this point. But again, let's just go back to Bitcoin, because everything goes back to Bitcoin. So quick note, YouTube chat. Okay, well, let me see if I can't fix that for you, brother. We can just break that down, Tatiana. Bust it. Butt it down, Tatiana. There you go, brother. Is that better for you? Sorry. If you post your comments in YouTube, that might be super more useful, right? because I got the chat box and I don't have Discord up. It's also good for the stream, I guess, or something. I don't know. Still learning. But anyways, going back to Bitcoin, here we go. See, now we're falling out. Look at this. Down almost a whole percent today, which would make me scared to be, you know. Okay. So it looks to me like we broke trend line support, right? I would say. I mean, you could clean this up a little bit. You could say you're hanging on by your chinny chin chin, if you will. Right? I mean, that's definitely a feasible option. You could call that. You could definitely call that the low side. However, you don't hold here. You're really trying to chase. I mean, and then you're saying, oh, well, it's here, dude. No, well, it's here. It's like, no, dude, come on. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see it. ABC. Let's go lower. Let's go on a lower time frame. We could also draw a fib. Yeah, we could still not be done falling yet. Let's find out though, because okay, cool. So here's how you tell, or here's how one could potentially look at this: is that this is the low side of your channel. What's good to see here on your RSI on a 4-hour time scale is that you are oversold, or you're reaching oversold territories with your RSI. So, I mean, one could say that maybe you catch a bounce here at the 23 mark, or maybe you don't. I mean, it's been a pretty tested line where you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch points in the past, and then you broke out a little bit lower. But typically you will see a bounce, and these are pretty smooth drops. These are like EKG-ish, right? So, yeah, that's not a. But see, this would have fooled somebody. This would have fooled people, and that's probably why it probably did, because right here, it's like double top, bearish divergence, bearish divergence, bearish divergence. Oh, double bearish divergence? Wouldn't that be that? Yes, and then boom. What? Right? Like you just shot to the moon, and you'd have been like, what? So, I mean, sometimes the market's tricky, and you can't try to read everything. So, I mean, because then one could have said this too. One could have argued and said, well, no, dude, because this is bullish divergence. Like, we're going to the moon. And there wouldn't have been wrong, right? But you could have talked yourself out of it too, making a bear case and saying, no, man, look at this RSI, bearish divergence on a 4-hour time scale. We're screwed. You know what I mean? But you weren't even in oversold territories. Then you reached oversold territories, and then you never saw those prices again. So another thing to look at too, every time you took that major sell-off, you were always above that 70 range for the RSI. Even here, bearish, and continued to sell down. And now you kind of have done the same thing. So potentially, you might be doing that again. And if it would coincide with what we looked at as far as, whoa, hold up. I hate it when it does that. You go back there. No, come on. Okay. And it coincides with the fact that we are reaching the bottom side of this channel, if you want to call it that. Then yeah, maybe we will see a bounce. And then from there, you can go top side of the channel if you were to extend that. Or some people would just say, hey, I'm going to take the fib of just this. And they would say, okay, maybe we sit here. Maybe this is our line. You know, this is kind of more of a scalper's perspective. 1, 2, 3, and then you see a 4, maybe a 5. Okay. Or you see, and you would say, okay, I'm taking my shot around like here. Maybe even a little bit lower. Maybe it's like here. Either way, like, it's not a big enough jump for me, right? I don't care enough. The biggest point here is that there's just not enough volatility, and the reason why is because here's why I believe. Even if you were to take it from here as your swing high, the swing low, we don't know our swing low yet. And maybe this is it, and maybe it's 10%. Maybe it's a 10% move or 11% move down, and then maybe we see a slight bounce for 5 to 7%. That could be a play, or maybe you go to the top side of the channel. But right now, there's just not enough confirmation for me, and I'm not showing enough divergencies, at least on this time scale. So let's go to a 2-hour. Cool. So again, not really showing much divergence. I mean, maybe you could call that, but the rule of 3. But I'm still not in love, right? That doesn't look good. That's kind of like a double top situation. You know, that looks like a bear flag that could be dumping out. I mean, this could cross. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, as the lower time scale you get, you know, the less and less valid these arguments become, because the candlesticks aren't as reliable. You know, when you're dealing with a 5, 10, 15-minute time frame, some of these candles aren't valid. But as a 30-minute time frame, this is definitely clear bullish divergence. So you would look at that and you would say, okay, well, is there a bounce in our play? Look at this little histogram tick. Maybe. So this would definitely be my swing high, and maybe the bottom of the white lines my swing low, and I'm going for a target of a 382. Maybe a 0.5. We'll go 0.5. And you could maybe get yourself like a 4.5% move. Maybe. You know. In a, you know, one day time span. But all those things, right now we haven't discovered that yet. I mean, we do have bullish divergence, which is nice. And we did break out of this pennant that we showed on a higher time frame, which was nice. But we fell back into it. And now this is the low side. We got to hold here. But, oh, dang it. Sorry, I got it. Just like I would draw a bull flag or bull pennant, you could definitely make the argument for a bear pennant or a bear flag. And I'm going to zoom in because that looks probably really tiny to you guys. Oops. So I would say that's definitely very pennant-like. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a pennant or a bear flag that looks like it has dumped to the downside. And now you're hoping to catch. What is also interesting to see is that you have a lower low on price, yet you have bullish divergence on your oscillator when you are in oversold territories. So something to consider, you know, again, you know, when you see a higher level of relative strength on your RSI oscillator, typically you see, and then you see a lower price and price action, typically you would see a run to the upside based off the fact that you have more momentum, yet you still continue to show low prices. I know that can be really confusing, and I may not have explained that the best way, but essentially, if you have a higher high on your RSI, so this green line, like this is higher than this, yet you have a lower price, so you're having more momentum, yet you have lower prices. So something doesn't add up quite there, if that makes sense. So either one of two things happens. You either go down and you continue to sell off, and you'll see this RSI hugely and massively break down, and it won't break up here, and it'll completely shoot down. And that would suck. Or typically you would see a nice little common retrace, and then you could still continue to sell off, and there's nothing against that either. So maybe you come up and you hit this line, which is in between the 382 and the 0.5. And you would say, okay, maybe we go to here, maybe here's the stopping point, we don't know, right? If this isn't 100% accurate, so I use the wicks because that's what I use for this example, so I'm going to stick to it. All right, so from wick to wick, this is you're getting a reaction at the 236, right? And you got your first reaction at the 38, well, in between the 382 and the 236 after this huge sell-off. Look at this bear candle. Look at this volume, right? And this one candle you sold off 6%. Well, this is typically where a scalper would come in and say, whoa, in a very small time, we lost a lot of money. We lost 6%, which is what the article told us. Now, there's probably going to be some kind of bounce in play. We got to the 236. We saw the bounce all the way up to a common retrace of the 618. We also hit the 0.5 and the 382. So if you would have taken a shot here, you would have maybe made 1.5%. You could have made 2.5%, or you could have made like almost 4%. And that's just a typical bounce because you don't go to zero overnight. And then what happened? You wicked out on the 618, which typically happens. You see a wick, and then you sold off again. You saw a little bit more of a reaction at the 0.5 and sold off again. You held steady at the 382, and then you broke down again. And now you're seeing a reaction at the 236. But on lower levels of volume. So you had this huge impulse down, which could be like a 1, 2, a 3, maybe a 4, and then you get a fifth wave here, and then you look for a new setup, or at least on a low time frame, or maybe you found a bottom for now and you can play a bounce, and maybe that bounce is to in between the 382 and the 0.5, and especially with your oscillator lining up and the MACD is lining up. So if you get a very small histogram tick here, I would expect to see like something like this. I would expect to see a recovery bounce like we did before. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to block this section off. And I'm going to block this section off. Okay, maybe not, because that was too big of a time frame. So hold up. It doesn't show any divergence, does it? Hold up. Let's try a 10-minute. See if it'll show it. Okay, this shows it. Okay, so what we would do is let's go down just a little bit more, because this is how a true scalper would do it. This is how this is kind of how I would try to scalp something. Okay, so here's what I would say. Right here, this is when I would start to look for an entry. So what I would have done on like a 5-minute chart is I would have said, shoot, in 1 hour, essentially 1 hour and 30 minutes, we lost. This is like a 10% move. We closed at around like 8%. So that's a decent, it's a decent amount of volatility. It's not a lot. Some altcoins, for Bitcoin, it's a lot. For altcoins, not so much. Like you can see altcoins bleed 20% in a candle. But if you bleed that hard, like I said, you don't just keep bleeding to zero. You have to reset oscillators. You will see bounces in between, and that's what this area was. So this right here was our bounce region. And if you were to count this as an Elliott, you'd have a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. But anyways, let's say you didn't do all that. You didn't count all that. You just wanted to, from a swing high to Hey, baby. Okay, hold up. I'm zoomed in so far. There we go. Cool. Where are you on? Okay, so from swing high to swing low, you would have hopefully grabbed an entry. I mean, if you saw it, you would have grabbed it on the wick, but that would have been hard because if you're scalping, you're checking them every wick, right? So you would have saw this happen. You would have saw this move, and you would have tried to take your shot. But let's just say you got in at the 236 because that's a pretty common area. So you would have caught it like right here, like on wave 1. Okay, so you would have caught it and you would have rode it, and let's say you were conservative. The YouTube channel is still in front. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Well, let me see if I can't fix that. Hold up. OBS. Chat. Alright. Is it still in front? I can only see a portion of my screen. Okay, interesting. How about now? Yes, you can see everything? Hey, all right, cool. How's the microphone coming in? Am I coming in okay? Girl, you got me like ta-da. No, you cannot hear me. Oh no. Well, yes, the chart is still in front. What? And okay. The mic, yeah, man, this mic is. Whew. Jeez, dude, you don't even realize. You can only see a section of my screen, though. Maybe, chat is still in front of my screen. Interesting. Alright, let's just remove it. Oh no. Yes. Top chat is still in the way. Okay, is it still in the way? Because I just deleted it, so I don't know how it could be. Although it does show it. In the preview it doesn't. That's so weird. Wow, ain't that something? In the preview it doesn't do that. Did it do it now? Is it gone? I pushed a button. It's not there anymore, right? It's cool. It's gone. It's cool. It's just that the work you're doing, it's just going to waste. It's no big deal. You know, like it kind of just doesn't count. I love it, Andiamo. That's hilarious. It's like you can do it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't count. So cool, man. Cool. Isn't that something? So learned a new feature about OBS that you can do the preview of the screen, and then you can change things, and then you can hit this little pretty button called transition, and then it actually makes the changes show up. Isn't that something? Oh man, that's funny. I appreciate the feedback though, because then you're out there swimming with the sharks in this vast world of YouTube, and you don't talk to anybody except for yourself. So I appreciate the feedback. Oh man. Okay. Anyways, back to the chart. So yeah, I would have saw this huge impulse down, this huge volume candle, and then I would have tried to take an entry, and I would have tried to catch it, hopefully on the wick, but if not, on the 236. And this wouldn't have been a huge play, but if we did hit the 618, and I would have tried to go for the 618. I feel like I'm comfortable with my abilities to try to aim for that. But if you wanted to be more conservative, you could have shot for the 0.5 or the 382, which would have netted you when you were between 1 and like 4%. It's not a huge play. Like Like, don't get it wrong, it's not a crazy huge play, but it's a 3-hour move. So this is where me and Andiamo differ. I think 4% could be a decent amount depending on how much money you're playing. But he'll sit in positions for a couple months and they'll be 4%, 8% up or down or in either direction, and it doesn't matter because he still kicks ass with his trading style. So that's just one way that I can do it, or I do it. Doesn't mean it works for you, and it may be too much to handle because when these candles are going, it becomes a lot. So it's just something to look at. And then, you would have confirmed it with your RSI, which is your divergence right here. Went to oversold territories and then sold off. So definitely fit TA and common retraces and on bounces when you do fall off cliffs like that. So anytime you see a big candle where you fall off a cliff on a very small time frame, like a 10, 12, hopefully you're looking for a little bit more than what this one was. This was only like a 10% candle. But if you could find like a 15, 20% candle, like typically you can grab a 6 or 8% bounce. So that's just how I look at it. They don't always play out, but it's just always something to kind of keep in mind and kind of have in your trading repertoire. Cool. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to look at as far as charts or questions or information or things I can help you with? Or are you just enjoying the sights and the sounds? I did realize that apparently I was breaking some YouTube laws with the music because they're copyrighted, and I was just playing whatever was on the Discord and whatever I really wanted to. So they deleted my videos, which was pretty cool. So figured out you can't break YouTube laws like that. So learning one thing at a time. But girl, you knocked me dead. Ta-da. Girl, you knocked me dead. Yeah, the YouTube police will get you, man. Doug, what's up, man? How are you? How's life treating you? Haven't talked to you in a second. I hope all is well with you, my friend. Girl, you're not dead tonight. Okay. Life is great, brother, man. Life is great. I just got this new mic. I got the new laptop coming in. I got the desktop I'm working on building. And then personal life, I found out that I'm going to be bartending an event, so that'll be fun. I'm going to be bartending the 500. So figured that would be a cool thing to get out of the house and do something a little bit fun. I haven't been behind the stick in a few months, so it'll be a good little 4-day trial. Girl, you knocked me dead tonight. And I gotta watch the race for free, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I got a phone call from this guy, and we're doing a private suite, and he wants me to bartend it. And he was like, I need one guy and one girl. He's like, would you do it? I was like, yeah, heck yeah, man. Gentlemen, start your engines. I think it'd be so cool to say that one time, just up in like the box. You know what I mean? Oh man, that's cool. But yeah, it should be fun. Plus, it's supposed to be like this catering style. I guess it's like a charity event, so like, or people like of high stature. And I was like, cool, haven't bartended in a minute, so I'll get up there. They said all my food's taken care of. So it's like a buffet style for like these VIP members, but it's all open bar. So I just get to hang out and make the drinks and don't have to worry about taking cash or anything. They'll probably tip me, but if they don't, like, I don't care. And he said, he was like, I'll send you home with a full belly. I was like, all right, man, well, let's do it. It should be fun. So we'll see what happens. I haven't been to the Indy 500 in a few years. Not since I blacked out there. But cool. All right. So if Bitcoin's doing all of this, let's real quick. Let's go to XRP. Let's check XRP. Heyo, look at XRP. Okay. A little bit of a development happening here. So again, what happened? Bitcoin sold off and everything else bled. Granted, these aren't supposed to technically be tied, but they kind of are, right? So we saw a huge wick, 8% for that one. For the Bitcoin, it's damn near the same for this one. What do you see? A little bit of a recovery bounce. Yeah, just past the 0.5. So not a huge gain or anything. I mean, you probably would have caught it again at the 236. You would have rode it to the 0.5, 2.3 or the 382, either one, and you get like a 2-3% bounce. So I mean, nothing to get you rich, but just little conservative ways to kind of potentially make money. Again, you would also see this. Girl, you got me like from here to here. And then from here to here. Have a pretty decent amount of bullish divergence. Divergencies. And again, we'll take a look at girl, you knocked me down. So you could even use this line as more of a tried and true line. But I would definitely say that all of that was bullish. And there you go. And that's why you're seeing a little bit of a pop. Hitting critical fill levels, but also showing, divergences and bullish divergence, at least on two different oscillators with your MACD and your RSI, as well as showing it with candlestick analysis. So just a couple different ways to show confluence in the market and to make educated decisions. Girl, you knocked me down. Cool. And that's almost 30 minutes, so let's go to a 4-hour. So cool. So that's just for that short-term intermediate. I mean, one could also say maybe this was your swing high. And now you're putting in your swing low. And, there's definitely going to be a bigger bounce in play other than just a small, 30-minute, 20-minute time scale. But yeah, this thing has been a dumpster fire. It's not been great. Gentlemen, start your engines. Tell you what. See, it's not ideal right now. I mean, you're holding on a thread, a jockstrap of support that you're looking to kind of break. So it's not great. However, I mean, you're kind of showing bullish divergence, so that's good, at least. I mean, you're really testing. You're super testing this line right now, right? But if you can hold here, who knows? Start your engines. Start your engine, Doug. Because we'll see what happens. Let's see how this bad boy's doing. Because it's not doing anything right now. Okay, so we're reaching the low side. So that's your recovery zone, right? I mean, last line, if you were to still try to take a shot, would be the white line, but you hope you hold the teal. And that would, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then hopefully you would break out. At least from a candlestick, analysis point of view. But so far you haven't, and you're just kind of scrubbing along. That's okay. No big deal. Just patience, That's one thing that as a scalper I've had to learn, and maybe even develop more of a swing strategy, is to just kind of be patient sometimes. There's the box that we drew forever ago. So we shall see. I want to have it all, but I can't. Also, too, if you guys have questions, so I'm looking into building a desktop. If you have comments or questions or concerns or ideas or inputs on systems that you've built or things that you have done in the past as far as PCs or building them, drop some knowledge to me, because I definitely want to make sure that I build a rig that's going to last, 8 years or so, or at least something that's going to, stand the test of time. So I want to make sure that I build something cool for you guys as well, so that way we can hopefully have higher quality videos, because I understand that sometimes this gets a little blurry and choppy, and I'm trying to do all that I can to kind of help bridge that gap. Oh wow, where do I start? We do have somebody else coming on to the channel too. I'm pretty sure he's going to be joining us. I was on the phone with him with AT&T the other day, and we just got talking, and he's built his own computers and is part, owns Bitcoin and is part of the clan. So if you have any ideas or thoughts, obviously I am new to this. I'm not the most tech savvy computer guy, but I have been learning. And yeah, just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. Also, these cartridges are a freaking mother trucker, man. These things are heavy. I want to get it all, but I can't. Cool. All right. Does anybody have any questions on charts or anything that they would like to look at? Or is everybody just doing all right? It's Friday, man. Cruising. You guys got weekend plans? You gonna tell me what you're doing this weekend? What's everybody? Because I know you're not sitting in front of the computer all weekend. At least I hope not. Nope. Okay. Well, cool. I've been live for basically an hour now. So if you guys have questions, like I said, let me know. Be more than happy to answer those. Look at things. Well, I do have quite some time reserved for trading stuff. My man, okay. Hey, if that's what you into this weekend, that's not all bad. I just know me, I'm getting that bug. I got to get out, got to do something. So, plus I got a busy weekend. It's mom's birthday. My roommate's got stuff going on. Neo, yeah, we'll look at Neo for you, brother. On Binance, is that what we're? Let's see here. I haven't looked at Neo in a while. Okay, well that doesn't look super good. Alright, let's pull it up for you, brother. Yeah, do you want it to the Bitcoin pairing or do you want it to the Tether pairing? Dumpster fire. BTC, got you though. Well, with Tether FUD, you know. Alright, so let's back this out to a daily and see if that can be changed. One, two. Two, three. Nope, it's invalidated. So 1, 2. Okay. Cool. So, I mean, so far, you've been falling off a cliff. I mean, you saw your run up, the 5 wave, if that's valid. Let's go to a 6-hour time frame for you. So if that is a 5 wave up, interesting. Okay, so we are oversold, yes. However, I'm not 100% sure we found our bottom yet. We might have. We're catching, right? I mean, okay, well, I see what you're saying. I see what you're looking at. Hold up. Let me check here for you, buddy. I mean, I think we could all agree that this right here, you know, this region, maybe call it here, this is definitely a region that you don't want to break below. Because see, then you could even say that that's a wave 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's back that off. 3, 4, and 5, and this is the A, and maybe you see a B when you bounce. Okay, so then let's pull a fib on it. If this is the low, take that down to a 4 hour. Okay, so if your low is around 1700, we don't know that though, and the reason why we don't know that is because we don't know if that's really divergent yet. We don't know if that's bullish. So we're still in oversold territory, and we're still kind of in price discovery. But if we can catch like a little histogram tick here, we might see a little catch up to the upside because we are in oversold territory, and then we would kind of see that nice little bullish divergence. But as of right now, it's not showing. So what I would do is wait to get bullish divergence or more confirmation, which could be right here. I mean, and what I mean by that is I would say if you catch on that white line, be all right. You're probably going to see a nice little bounce, and then you're looking for the 382, 0.5 maybe. And if that was the case, so it would take a while. I mean, it would take 3-4 days for this kind of setup for a swing trade. If you're looking for more of a shorter term play, like the honey badger, okay, see, so we're seeing that reaction at that white line. And if you were to draw it on this time scale, I mean, you would definitely say you got some divergence. So yeah, I definitely think, I mean, obviously it's all dependent on BTC, but I think you have a shot here. I think you have a shot to do something. Oscillators are kind of aligning. Yeah, there's a shot. I mean, still kind of in a little bit of price discovery in my opinion, because you are going lower low on lower levels of momentum, but you're kind of catching yourself on lower time frames. So while on a 6 hour you don't have divergence, and a 4 hour you don't have divergence, a 2 hour you do. So you can make a case and an argument for that. I don't think it's a huge move, but I think you could probably gain a few percent. Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do. Also, because you were in the crypto movie, right? I could have it all. But, oh, dang. Trading Temple. Crypto Q. That's cool. That's cool, man. But yeah, like I said, you got to hold here, and you got to hold at this line. And if you don't, then all that's invalidated. So you continue to look for further downside, and you try to find your next support region. But it looks like you've held for now, and we'll see what happens. Ray of blocks? Ray of blocks? What's a ray of block? What are you talking about? Maybe I don't know what that is. Maybe I should probably Google that. Or maybe I don't know about that term. Oh, baby, where we going? The moon. Cool. Hope you guys are liking this video. If you do, I guess hit that like button. I guess it's better for us or something. Thought you said before XRB was in that. Oh, Nano's in that. XRB. I don't even know what XRB is. It might be. I just don't know what the ticker is. There's so many of these assets. XRB. What is that? I don't think it's an asset. I don't know. No. Nano is, though. Waves is. There's a few other ones. Not that it means anything. Oh, Roblox changed into Nano. Okay, then yeah. Yeah, okay, see? That makes sense then. Yeah, Nano was in it. It's just never bad to be in a Hollywood movie. I don't know. Like I've said before, like I don't know. If I was a newbie coming into the space and I had just heard about it or watched that movie and wanted to get involved, I'd be like, well, this one was in the movie. You know, I don't know. Like, how do you start? Like, I got told that Litecoin was going to be great, so that's what I bought off advice from a friend. Didn't go well at the time, and all the signs were there. Charlie Lee sold all of his shares, but he's still the golden boy. And it's whatever. It's no big deal. It's just, you don't know. And that's what we're here for. Hopefully to help people that don't know. Is to kind of help save them from making a boneheaded decision like I have or some of us have. And it's all good. All good. Yeah, but Nano looks to be like it could do something. I mean, it's definitely trying. Could have saw a double bottom. Definitely could be seeing a double bottom, at least on the hourly. So, or I'm sorry, Neo. Not, did I go to Nano? Did I not check Nano? Broke line support. Sold off. Makes sense. So you could have extended this out, obviously, but ultimately you broke the channel. You broke the line, and you saw a downtrend. I'm sure there was something I drew here. I don't remember what. Something here. I don't know what time frame I drew them on, so it's kind of hard to remember. Maybe I'm just going to assume a 4 hour. I don't remember. But I mean, definitely we broke the line support and then we sold off, so that makes sense. Also, we're reaching a critical level as well. So I mean, you're reaching topside resistance. So for you to break to higher prices, you definitely got a lot of overhead resistance. In this region, you got a lot of crap you got to break through here. So we'll see, and as well as you're also that's what it was. I drew it on a daily then. Okay, so you drew it on a daily time scale. You broke down. Bearish divergence right here gave you the signal, and then you broke down, and you've continued to sell off. This was your hold line. You didn't hold, and now you're selling off. Simple as that. Obviously, probably because Bitcoin took a shit, Ooh, not good. Not good at all. So we'll be looking for the law of 3 here. Which means we're looking for a little run up to maybe the 382. If we can hold here. Maybe not even that. That could be ambitious. See, once again, broke line support. Solid trail. All right, kids. Well, I've been live for 1 hour and 17 minutes now. Dang. Tell you what, I'll probably come back later for another stream, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump off now. Go make some lunch. But if you have comments, questions, feel free, send them down below. As well as check out the Discord. There's a lot of cool guys in there, and definitely if you want to get in reach with me or Andiamo, then that's the place to do it. So come ask your questions, come say hi, and I will catch you guys next time.